What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and here I've got the new iPhone 6s Plus in rose gold and iPhone 6s in space gray. Today we're going to be seeing how these do when subjected to water. I'm going to be placing these things in 1 foot of water, chlorinated, fluoridated, and I want to see how they fare. Not all of us are super careful with our phones. Sometimes we jump into pools and we leave our phones in our pocket. So I want to see, will these things survive subjected usage in water? And we're actually going to be keeping them in there until they die, but I want to see if they do survive, what will work. A lot of things stop working on these phones, such as ports and speakers. I want to see, after being in the water, what still works and what doesn't. So at intervals, we're going to be taking them out and seeing. But overall, even though these don't have an IP68 water resistance certification, I still want to see how these fare when we place them in the water and leave them there. And these are the new phones. This is the rose gold color option and space gray. Absolutely great phones. Way more durable, as the drop tests have shown us, but how do they fare when exposed to water? So I'm really curious to find out. The Force Touch is amazing. Let's see if Force Touch will work underwater as well, but let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so here are these guys. They're ready to take a bath. Have you ever been so nervous using your phone above a body of water you'd grip it extra tight? Well, I'm doing just the opposite of that. I'm about to submerge about $1,500 worth of phones into this bath, and I'm really nervous to do this, but I'm actually pretty curious to see if Force Touch will work underneath that water. Anyways, I'm going to start the timer at the exact same time. I would start them on here, but I don't trust them. I've had the screen do random things before. Okay, here we go. So okay, so 6S Plus on the left and 6S on the right. So there's a good amount of depth here. Let's see what happens. All right, so we're almost a minute in, and I'm actually gonna try and activate the force click here in a second. I wonder if, I know the digitizer won't know where my finger is, but the Force Touch might. So I'm gonna go on the camera. Nope. Force Touch does not work underwater, in case you guys were wondering, but phone displays are alive and well. So I know these guys did really good in the actual drop test, but when it comes to water, phones behave differently. A lot of different phones actually. The S6 and S6 Edge did very good. I was surprised, but the iPhones always outperform them. I don't know if it's the sealed up design that doesn't allow a lot of water inside, but we've got a good amount of depth here, about a foot. So it's a pretty big bin. There's a lot of water here. Hopefully something will happen to these guys, because usually they just survive and they die the next day, not while in the water, but when all the insides get corroded and all that. Okay, so I've got a low power mode option right there. Unfortunately, I cannot click it. Nothing will register by the display. The 3D touch doesn't work. The digitizer, of course, doesn't work underwater, but both phones seem to be performing, marvelously. I see nothing wrong with either of them yet. And we're going to take them out very soon and see what works and what doesn't after a 10-minute dunk. All right, so we're at 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take these guys out, and we're going to see what works and what doesn't. So, all right, so digitizer still works. I was able to turn that off. And against better judgment, we're going to see if they can charge and if the headphones do work as well as the speakers. So I'm trying to get as much water out of there as possible. Man, I love the new color. Anyways, so, everything is good. Oh wait, this guy, the digitizer stopped working. No. Okay, that's it. The digitizer has gone out after 10 minutes of a dunk with the 6S Plus, but let's see if anything else still works. But can they charge? Yeah, it does charge. However, there's no sound when plugging it in, which leads me to believe that the speaker is no longer working. This one, same thing, and it's on. The vibration motor still works, but let's see if the sound still works on either one of them. And we're just going to go into the sound settings. Still working. It just sounds like crap. There is a lot of water in the speaker. Okay, so the phone does recognize that it does have headphones inside of it, and when I take them out, it does work with the regular ringer. This guy, however, I cannot test if the speaker is working, but when I do plug it in, there is no sound. Both do charge at least, and this guy, the speaker works somewhat. So after 10 minutes, the damage is apparent. Digitizer went out on this guy. Oh, there we go. So it just started working. I guess it just got locked up or something. Let's see if the sound works. Okay, so still working. Let's see if it recognizes headphones. Yep, headphones are recognized. So cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue this test and see where we're at 20 minutes. Here we go. Going to start the timer once again. And there we are. So let's see if these phones can make it to 20 minutes. So one thing I've noticed is that the reception isn't very good underwater apparently. There's no service for the 6S Plus on the right, but more than that, I think the radios actually went out. So I'm no longer able to get a service on T-Mobile, while a phone that I have outside of the water has LTE. And on the left, the 6S seems affected as well. So the first thing that's likely to happen is your LTE radio will go out.
So just to show you guys, there is a considerable amount of water on top of these guys. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, I just don't understand how these guys survive for so long. But in just a minute here at 20 minutes, we're going to take these guys out and see what still works and what doesn't.
Okay, so 20 minutes. And I'll get these guys out of here. Dry them off. Both are alive, which is a good sign. So it looks like the displays, home buttons, still working. Cool. All right, that's already the biggest challenge. So those are still working. Let's go ahead and test the sound. Looks like the service is back. For a moment underwater, it disappeared. It's very quiet. Okay, so both do work. They're just a little muted to how they usually are. Let's go ahead and see if the cameras work actually. So rear cameras are working, not foggy. All right, front cameras are working as well. Let's go ahead and try the power. Okay, speakers is working with the power now. Not this one, but both do charge. Both are recognized while charging. I wanted to see if this guy can still get a Wi-Fi signal. It looks like they both can. So overall, I mean, it's working, but if you were to leave it and use it for a couple days, who knows where it would be. Anyways, let's go for the third session and see after 30 minutes if these guys are still working, and if they are, what's working. And once again, so I'm gonna start the timer again, and in they go for the third session. All right, so about at the 25-second mark, and these guys just aren't dying, so I'm actually gonna flip them around a little bit, see if I can squeeze as much air out of them as possible. So there are more bubbles going. All right, so let's see if that has any impact on them. But surprisingly, these guys are doing very well, on par with the 6 and 6 Plus, that is. Oh, and actually, look at that. So the display is freaking out on the left side of the 6S Plus, and I'm starting to see diagonal lines actually on the messages icon. If you look, the backlight starting to flicker on both of them, and finally things are heating up here. So it's only a matter of time now until these guys give up. And yeah, I can definitely see the liquid getting in under there on the display. Oh, and there it is. So it is restarting. Actually, I'm going to leave this guy in here and see if it does start up on its own, but it still is showing signs of life. Flickering, weird colors, the backlight's totally being affected. So the iPhone 6S, there's a ton of lines in there. The iPhone 6S Plus keeps flickering. One side of the backlight keeps going out and on, and actually I think the power button just activated. Man. So man, these guys are completely going nuts, but at 27 minutes, they're still surviving.
So at this point, the display backlights kept going out. We started to see a whole bunch of horizontal and vertical lines on the 6, whereas the 6S Plus seems to be affected a little bit more. Man, this is just crazy.
All right, so the backlight And there we go. So the iPhone 6s at 28 minutes has completely shut off. The iPhone 6s Plus is still working. So we're gonna see how long it takes for that guy to shut off, but let's see if we can revive it. I'm gonna try and get as much water out of there. And no power. Against better judgment, again, gonna power this guy on and see if any sign of life. Oh, there's a glitch. It's the Matrix. But there's some really interesting artifacts going on. I've actually never seen this before. Maybe that's something to do with the 3D touch. And nothing. That is so interesting though. The iPhone 6s Plus still doing its thing, and it's been 30 minutes, so we're about to pull it out. But both phones are completely gone. All right, let's get this guy out of here. So, looks like after 30 minutes, about 31 minutes, the iPhone 6s Plus has just shut off on me. Let's see if anything happens when I plug this guy in. And again, don't do this. Get some kitty litter, put it in a bag with kitty litter, and that usually will fix your problems. No signs of life. So, both of these guys failed miserably. 28 minutes, 30 minutes, about 31 minutes for the 6s Plus. Can they be used in the water? Sure. Will they survive? Probably not. I mean, if you were to take them out after a minute, a couple minutes, there's a very good chance your phones would still work at the end, but this is just way too long. These guys are gone. And the 6S is the only one that's showing signs of life with weird flickering, but at least it's there. Anyways, guys, that's just about it. It's really interesting to see how these phones react to something they shouldn't, such as water, and as you can see, this is the result. And be sure to check out some of my other videos. I'll have many more posted soon. Have a great day, guys, and take care of your phones. They will not fare very well in water. Don't jump in a pool with them. They will not survive. Peace.